Air Force One disappeared from radar for 6 hours in 2013. The official story was routine maintenance. But pilot Captain Mitchell reveals the truth. Obama was on the most dangerous mission in presidential history. Welcome to Real Life Stories. Before we dive into this incredible story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe stories like this need to be told, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss similar amazing stories. Because what you'll learn tonight reveals a secret operation where a president risked his life. But there's a bigger secret in this story. The place Obama went during that 6-hour journey was coordinates that officially don't exist. And the mission he accomplished at those coordinates would forever change America's national security. October 15, 2013, Andrews Air Force Base, 6:30 a.m. Captain James Mitchell, 48 years old, experienced Air Force pilot with 22 years of service. He had been the chief pilot of Air Force One for the past 8 years. He had flown during the Bush administration, had thousands of hours of experience, and was a trusted officer. The briefing Mitchell received that morning was different from normal. Usually, all flight plans were prepared in detail and routes were determined, but that day he only received this instruction. You will take the president to coordinates 38 Dages and 77 Dagwestier. No flight plan, radar off. You will not communicate with anyone. Mitchell was surprised. He had never received such an instruction in 22 years. Sir, where are these coordinates? That's not information that needs to be asked, Captain. You'll just fly. At 8:00 a.m., Obama boarded Air Force One. Only 2 people were with him, CIA Director John Brennan and a general from the Pentagon he didn't recognize. There was no Secret Service. This was not normal at all. While Mitchell was making preparations in the cockpit, Obama came to him. Captain Mitchell, we're on a very special mission today. I need you to promise that you won't mention this to anyone. Of course, Mr. President, but where are we going? It's better if you don't know. Just fly. At 8:30, Air Force One took off. The transponder was turned off, radar systems were disabled, the plane had become invisible. For the first 2 hours, they flew normally, but then Obama came to the cockpit and gave new coordinates. When Mitchell looked at the GPS, he was shocked. These coordinates were right in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. Mr. President, these coordinates are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. There's nowhere to land there. There's a place to land, Captain. It just doesn't appear on maps. Even though Mitchell had been a pilot for 30 years, he had never heard such a thing. I don't understand, sir. You'll understand in 45 minutes. As the flight continued, Mitchell began hearing strange signals on the radio. It wasn't human voices, but machine-like sounds. It was as if they were communicating with another aircraft. 45 minutes later, an island appeared in the middle of the ocean. But this island wasn't on any map. It was small, volcanic, and had a runway on it. Mr. President, where did this island come from? Captain, some places only appear when needed. Air Force One landed on the island. Mitchell had never seen anything like this in his life. The island looked completely artificial. The runway was perfect, but there were no buildings, no people around it. 10 minutes after landing, another aircraft arrived. It had no markings, no flag. It was black, triangular in shape, in a design he had never seen. The person who got off that plane shocked Mitchell, because that person was CIA agent Robert Hansen, who was announced dead 3 years ago. Wasn't Hansen dead? Mitchell asked. Obama, Captain, you'll learn a lot today, but you'll need to forget all of it. Obama, Brennan, and the general boarded that strange aircraft. Mitchell was left alone. He waited alone on the island for 4 hours. The island was completely silent, only the sound of the ocean. 4 hours later, Obama returned, but he was completely changed. His face was pale, his hands were shaking, as if he had learned something very heavy. Captain, we're taking off immediately, and this never happened. Throughout the return journey, Obama didn't say a word. When he came to the cockpit, Mitchell asked him, Mr. President, are you okay? Obama didn't answer for a long time. Then, Captain, some truths change people. What I learned today changed me forever. What did you learn? The world is very different from what we thought, and America's real enemies are not what we think they are. When Air Force One returned to Andrews Base, Mitchell was made to sign a special document. In this document called National Security Agreement, he was swearing not to tell anyone about that day's events. The next day, newspapers published the news, Air Force One did not fly due to routine maintenance. Mitchell knew the truth but couldn't tell it. In the following months, he observed serious changes in Obama's behavior. He was more serious, more worried, more cautious. It was as if he was carrying a very heavy burden. In 2014, Mitchell asked Obama about that day. "Mr. President, what did you learn on that island?" Obama: "Captain, humanity is part of a much bigger story than it thinks, and we're just playing a small role." "What do you mean?" "America's future was decided on that island, but this decision wasn't made by any voter." From that day on, Mitchell noticed strange changes in Obama. The president would come to the cockpit at night and ask him to pilot. It was as if flying calmed him down. "Captain," Obama said one night, "sometimes the only place I'm free is here. In the air, there's too much observation on the ground." In 2015, Mitchell retired. During Obama's farewell visit to him, he said, "Captain, don't forget what you saw that day, because one day this information might be important." When? When America faces the real threat. After Mitchell retired, he tried to research about that island, but he couldn't find any records. It was as if that island had never existed. In 2016, when Obama's presidency was ending, Mitchell received one last phone call. "Captain, I can't pass on what I learned on that island to my successor because that information is too dangerous. But you lived through that day. You need to keep this secret for America's future." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because one day someone will ask you what happened that day, and then you'll need to tell the truth." When the pandemic started in 2020, Mitchell noticed a strange connection. He began to think that what Obama learned on that island might be related to the crises happening worldwide. But Mitchell revealed even more disturbing details about that mysterious day. During the 4 hours Obama was gone, Mitchell witnessed something that challenged everything he believed about reality. "While I was waiting alone on the island, the ocean around us was completely still," Mitchell continued. "No waves, no movement, and the sun didn't move during those 4 hours. It stayed in exactly the same position, like we had entered some kind of temporal bubble." The pilot revealed more about the strange triangular aircraft. When that black triangle landed, it made no sound. None. In 30 years of flying, I've never seen anything defy physics like that. Mitchell also shared details about Obama's return. When the president came back, his eyes had this haunted look. He kept muttering under his breath, "They were right, and the timeline has to be protected." During the return flight, Obama kept looking up at the sky like he was watching for something. Every few minutes, he'd check his watch and nod, as if following some schedule only he understood. Mitchell revealed Obama's cryptic comments during subsequent flights. In the months after that mission, Obama would ask strange questions. "Captain, if you could change one decision in history, would you?" These weren't casual discussions. He seemed genuinely tormented by these concepts. The pilot described how the secret affected Obama's presidency. After that island visit, he became more cautious about military interventions, more focused on long-term consequences. It was like he knew something about the future that the rest of us didn't. Mitchell shared a disturbing conversation from 2015. Obama told me, "Captain, every decision I make now, I have to consider not just American interests, but planetary ones. Some threats transcend human understanding." The pilot revealed that wasn't their only unusual destination. Over the next 2 years, we made 3 more flights to coordinates that didn't officially exist. Different locations each time. Each time, Obama returned changed, carrying new burdens. Mitchell described the final mysterious flight in 2016. The last secret mission was different. Obama came back resolved, like he'd finally accepted whatever responsibility had been placed on him. He told me, "Captain, my part in this is almost over, but the mission continues with or without me." The pilot shared Obama's final words before leaving office. Obama said, "James, what we did on those flights wasn't just about America's security. It was about humanity's survival. One day, people will understand why secrecy was necessary." Mitchell revealed his ongoing surveillance since retirement. "After I went public with parts of this story, I started noticing things. Cars parked outside my house with tinted windows, phone calls with no one on the other end. Someone doesn't want this information spreading." But the most chilling revelation came at the end. In 2022, I received a package with no return address. Inside was a photograph of that island we visited in 2013. But the island was different, bigger, with structures I didn't recognize. At the bottom was a note. "Phase 2 complete. Thank you for your service, Captain Mitchell." It was signed with Obama's initials. Mitchell concluded with a warning. "I'm 58 years old now, retired, living in Florida. For 10 years, I never told anyone about that day, but I'm speaking now because I think people need to know. Obama made decisions on that island that affect all of us, and whatever he set in motion is still happening. Mitchell's final words. That island is still there. The coordinates are still the same, but now no one can go there anymore, because it's now a forbidden zone. And sometimes, late at night, I wonder if Obama is still involved with whatever's happening there, even after his presidency ended. What do you think? What was the truth Obama learned in those 6 hours? And how is it affecting us today? Share in the comments, because we at Real Life Stories know the biggest secrets are hidden in the most unexpected places.